Well, hey everybody. Welcome to the update stream. This is Bugs here. I'm joined today by Artemis and Miss D. Say hi, guys.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, guys.
So it is another first Thursday. I hope everyone's having a wonderful summer and a wonderful August so far. And as we have it with all first Thursdays, there is an update and a forced map wipe coming in just the next hour. And as always, there's some new things coming. There's a new DLC, there's a big refresh to the hardcore gameplay mode, and a bunch of other stuff that we'll get in as we always do and describe to you what you can expect to see when this update hits. Now, as always, if you have any questions, feel free to do Miss D _ that's me in chat, and we will get to as many questions as we have the opportunity to. And also, as always, you can check out Rustafied.com, and our article there summarizes all this stuff in text and pictures, so you can feel free to follow along and check that out as you like. But yes, it is another update and forced wipe. No forced blueprint wipe, but definitely all the servers, when the wipe hits, will wipe their maps. And what do we got going on in this update? Well, one of the biggies is this big refresh to the hardcore game mode. Now, of course, the hardcore game mode came out a while ago, but for the past couple months, they've been working on refreshing it, making it even more survivalistic, like limiting more and more stuff to make it even more hardcore than it ever has been before. And so a couple of those changes that we're seeing with the hardcore mode is there are no guns in the tech trees or at vendors at all. And guns can't be researched or crafted. So you can still repair them, and you don't need a blueprint to repair them. But basically, you're going to have to scavenge for your guns, and they are a protected resource because you can't craft them, and you can't buy them at vendors. Now, there's also this fog of war on the map, and a big change with this new compass thing where when the compass is in your belt, you can kind of see your direction and everything. But as you can see with the in-game map here, it's got the fog of war. When you join a server, it's only showing what you're right around. And then as you explore around, it clears that fog of war. And it's definitely a more hardcore experience than normal vanilla Rust is.
And
And you
sorry,
can use
Bugs,
the...
just to
Go for it.
update you with that. They've taken the marker off the map, even with the compass. You've just got to use the compass points now. Even
Oh,
if
okay,
you've got
cool.
it. Yeah.
That makes sense. I was kind of thinking that would make sense for them to
Yeah.
do, and sure enough, they did it. So awesome. But yeah, so you got to hold this compass out to see even what direction you're in, which I think is pretty cool. And I love the styling of the compass and everything. I love this Rust aesthetic and how they keep bringing it to new items and everything. And that's not the only change. The fog of war and the compass and the gun stuff. Now also sleeping bags have a 15-minute cooldown and beds have a 10-minute cooldown. So that's of course more than vanilla. And there's a max of 5 total. So you can only have 5 bags and beds in any one server at a time. Now also when it comes to ammo in this new hardcore game mode refresh, it's 5 times more expensive to craft. So not only are guns much harder to come by, but then the ammo is much more... I'm thinking back to, what was it, an old Chris Rock stand-up bit where he was like, no, with gun control, what you got to do is make bullets $50,000 a pop or something like
I
that.
think it was, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, that guy must have done something. They put $50,000 worth of bullets in him. But anyway, I don't know why that just popped in my head, but yeah, ammo is 5 times more expensive to craft now. And that's not even it. Upkeep costs are doubled. So it's going to take more and more to keep your base afloat, so to speak. And finally, safe zones are completely disabled. So there is no safe zone in hardcore, which I think also makes a lot of sense. So this is like a real stripped down high stakes version of Rust that just got a new refresh. And with that, there's some new hardcore mode servers going live, including Rustified is launching, I'm proud to announce, our AU hardcore mode when the update goes live. You can see more information and specifics on that on our Discord on the announcements, but essentially it's going to be on the official list, and you can connect with just auhardcore.rustified.com in the F1, or you can find it on the official list. And yeah, we're going to try out some more hardcore game mode options, see if that is resonating with people. But that is a biggie for this update today, this whole refresh of the hardcore gameplay mode. But that's not all. We also have a new menu system entirely. So when you join the game after this update, you're going to notice the menu system, the escape menu, the options, the server browsing, everything has been completely overhauled. And personally, I think this is such a great improvement to the UX and the UI, the overall user experience. They've really optimized things. They really cleaned it up in a lot of ways. There's just some really clear tabs on the top for a session or the main mode. When you join the game, if you were just in a server, you can quick rejoin. If you're in a server and in a session, then you can see the session information for that. They've completely overhauled the server browser with the filters. They even have the ability to preview maps. The store has been completely overhauled as well. And so you can see just a really nice summary and details about all the items available on the store. And with the skins, they got this nice skin viewer as well that loads up a real high detail version of the skin that you can move around with your mouse and everything and see every single little detail of the skin. And that's a really nice addition. And then on top of that, the options menu has been completely overhauled and cleaned up as well. So when you're going through and digging through and looking to change whatever options you might want to, it's got a really clean interface and even a search capability now. So you can very easily find the option you're looking for. And along with that, the gesture wheel for setting your gestures has been overhauled, so you can drag and drop things on there and preview what your gesture wheel is going to be exactly and see all the available gestures on the right and everything. It's very nicely done. And there's also on the bottom right an ever-present social panel. So if you're trying to hook up with some friends or something like that, you can see the social panel down there, regardless of where you are. And overall, it's just a much better UX, much better UI, and a really nice update to the overall escape menu. Now, on top of that, what they've done, and this is not one that you're going to see like when you're in game running around, but hey, when you're going to load into a server after this update, I think most everybody will notice that the loading is a lot faster. They have done a lot of improvements on how players load into the game and into servers, and we're even seeing up to 65% faster load times just across the board. And that's a huge boost and a really nice quality of life thing to be able to get in those servers and get on that beach and start playing even quicker than ever before. So props to the team, not only for the excellent UI overhaul, but for the optimizations and faster loading. That's a huge deal. And then once you're loaded in the game and you start going around, I think a lot of people will start noticing this whole atmospheric revamp that they've done. And this is a multifaceted thing where they've added a bunch of different things and redone some weather effects and everything. And overall, the vibe in game of the atmospherics is looking better than ever before. They've got biome specific fog and color grading. So depending on what biome you're in and what the weather is and what time of day it is and everything like that, You're going to see some different color grading and some different fog effects and different atmospheric effects that you wouldn't have seen before. And it's really gorgeous, especially certain times it just hits and it's like, damn, that's beautiful. And not like the game was not good looking to begin with. The game was already gorgeous, but this is just some little icing on the cake. They really improved the atmospherics. There's volumetric clouds, which you can turn off if you want to, but that's going to make the whole atmosphere of the clouds much more dynamic and everything. The weather effects and the overall ambience is improved. The transitions between weather effects are smoother, and the general just ambiance of them has been touched up. And you combine that with the fog and the color grading that they added, and it's really just a step above what we've seen before. And they did a beautiful job on this. It's really gorgeous. And the best part of all this, because I can tell there's a bunch of people like, oh great, they added new weather and all this stuff, and so performance is going to be worse. I'm going to get less FPS now. But that's not necessarily the case, because they did keep in mind and prioritize performance while making all these changes. So it is a performance friendly design that they took in mind with all of these changes. And so, yeah, so it's just much better, much gorgeous, more gorgeous overall, and a huge step forward in the visuals and the atmospherics of Rust. And yeah, again, shout out to the art team behind this and the guys at Facepunch that did this, because I've never seen the game look so friggin' beautiful. And especially at certain times, like you might not notice it right away, but then all of a sudden you'll be out harvesting at night or as the sun's setting and the rain or the fog rolls in, and it's like, damn, that looks good. Look at that. So that's pretty cool, and that's going live with the update today. Now, also, we got a new DLC coming in. It's another classic hazmat DLC that's been in the works for a little while now. And this one has 5 new features, 5 new like skins, basically, that you can get. I believe it is live on the item store now. If not, let me refresh. And I think the item store got updated. Are we seeing it? Yeah, Pilot Pack, $12.99 USD. And you get that Pilot Pack. And you can see some of the things we've got around here. There's, of course, the Pilot Hazmat Suit, which is very nicely designed. Looks really cool. You're like a little fighter pilot guy. There is also a new skin to the semi-automatic pistol. It's the M15 pistol. It is just a skin, so nothing from a statistical standpoint on damage or anything changes. But with this pistol, there is a glow-in-the-dark iron sight, and that's a nice little tactical thing we got going on there with that nice new skin. There's also the flight control code lock, and so this is skin to the code locks, which just looks pretty cool. And there's also a black box, which is a skin to the Smallwood box, Smallwood storage, and it's like that flight log black box thing that I guess planes have. I've never seen one personally. It's always called a black box, and here it's orange. I, you know, I don't know, but it looks cool, and it's a nice little feature. And then finally, we got this cool salvaged ejector seat, which is almost like a Game of Thrones throne mixed in with some missiles and some fighter jet kind of vibes and everything. I think they did a great job on all the artwork with this. And so if you want to support the devs and get some cool new visuals in the game, then I definitely suggest you go to the Rust item store and pick that DLC up. And all these items will be available for you to use right after the update comes out and all the servers and your client is updated. But yeah, they just did a nice, beautiful job on all the artwork with this, and I think it's a great addition to the DLC library for this game. There's also some tweaks we got going on with metal detectors, and this is an interesting one. Some nice quality of life improvements going in. So essentially, what happens here is if there's weapons inside backpacks that get down, the backpack may despawn, but the weapon actually ends up buried in the ground. And then you can find it with the metal detector. Now, this is both in hardcore and normal mode. And it just adds a little more advantageous stuff when it comes to metal detection. Because shit, you could go and just be roaming around and find an AK under the ground, and that's pretty cool. And weapons dug up will keep their original condition, so there's no durability loss. If the AK is at half condition, the person dies, it despawns in a backpack, it goes under the ground, you find it with a metal detector, it's still going to have the same durability that it had. And they also did some fixes to ownership bugs and just cleanups to some things that weren't working exactly as intended. So overall, the experience of metal detection and treasure hunting in that fashion should be, you know, more bug free than before, and you got more opportunities to find some cool stuff. Now, also, there are a slew of fixes that they added in this month. Now, there's not a month that goes by where they don't do some fixes, but this month is one of the ones where the list is a lot longer than we generally see. I'm not going to run through all of them. You can see all of them on rustified.com on my article today. And I'm sure the dev blog, which comes out probably in the next half hour or so, will have more details about this as well. But some of the highlights are they fixed player name tags being visible through ceilings. That's been around forever. Speaking of being around forever, twig roofs when they get destroyed, they just flew like crazy. Looks like that has been resolved. I don't know. I kind of got so used to that one. I was a little bit like, well, did you need to fix that one? But I get why they fixed that. That didn't make any sense. But that's just been around for years, and it is resolved. Along with the atmospheric changes, they did improve the rain overall, where it's no longer partially clipping through ceilings, and you're not getting, rain inside or underneath ceilings and stuff like that, like you might have been before. And they might have fixed, I'm not 100% sure on this, but this rare bug that made doors unable to be picked up until a lock is placed and removed from them. If you've ever run into that one, it might be rare, but man, was that annoying. And it looks like that's possibly fixed, and fingers crossed it is. And they also fixed the crafting menu search results being lost after closing and reopening the menu, so you don't have to research for what you were just looking for. They also fixed some memory leaks related to the Rust Plus camera renderer and Nexus mugshot savings. Basically, this is one that, as a server owner, we ran into some performance issues the other year, and it was very much around the mugshot saving and the contacts, saving. And it looks like that's been cleaned up and optimized. So overall, along with better loading into the game, faster loading into the game, it looks like server performance and optimization has taken a nice step forward. And also for longevity of servers after, the initial wipe, taken a big step forward in this update. They fixed some flickering issues with viewing certain prefabs. They fixed the fishing village red door um, to be always openable. And they've done a bunch of other miscellaneous fixes. Server restart chat messages are now toast messages. So if the server is going to restart and it's like counting down, then you're going to see them in toast messages on your screen more clearly than just in the chat. It could easily get lost in the chat with all the other chatter. So that was a nice movement. And just a bunch of other issues and miscellaneous fixes have been implemented with this update, and that's always nice to see. Just everything cleaned up and more bug free than we've seen before, and that's really sweet. Also, there are some Twitch drops going live today. It's Homebrewed 3 Twitch drop campaign goes live today. There's some beautiful skins on there. Head over to twitch.facepunch.com to check them out. And that should go live in 40 minutes from now. The campaign starts, and you can go to twitch.facepunch.com, pick up your, make sure you link your accounts and everything's all set. And then as you're watching your favorite streamers and all this stuff, you can get some cool new skins and honoring some content creators in the game, which is very much deserved for them. And yeah, a cool Twitch drop campaign to see. A couple other things, weapon stats update when changing attachments. That was a little thing that just wasn't refreshing. So now as you're adding attachments and removing them, the weapon stats will update. If you are an admin, you might notice this little like shield with a exclamation point icon next to your belt. That is just a little warning to say you are in God mode. And again, that's only for admins, but it's a nice little visual indicator to see, just know that you're in the mode you're in. Because I don't know how many times over the years I've just gone into F1 and typed God to see, am I in God mode or am I not in God mode? So now you just got a nice little visual indicator if you are administrating a server. They've also updated the medical syringe animation, and a timer can be added to the mute command if you are trying to mute someone and you're an admin. There's some new modding prefabs that made it into the game, so people who are doing modded servers and creating new mods and everything have a broader tool set, so to speak, when it comes to their abilities on what they can do, what they can mod, and what they can add into the game. They also did add a heat source to the small oil refinery, and that makes it behave kind of like the furnace and campfire when it's on, which is nice. And they did do some optimizations to auto turrets as well, so just better performance when it comes to auto turrets. And that's something that, especially on the server side, later into a wipe when there's all these huge bases with auto turrets everywhere, that's a really nice thing. So just another step forward in server longevity and being able to have the servers run smoothly as we go later and later into wipes and there's more and more entities on the map. So that about summarizes it. Now, I do want to touch on one Rustified thing right now, and I'm actively letting go of my frustration on this, but our e-commerce site where you buy VIP has been breaking down on us. Now, we're using a third party, and my mom always said, if you don't have anything nice, don't say it, or whatever they say. But I will say the people who we've been using for our e-commerce literally since we launched the VIP program 10 years ago, they've been going downhill, 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 and the site is not working reliably now. And it's super frustrating. I know, especially if you want to get in the server, you want to buy VIP. Um, yeah, I get, and believe me, I'm as frustrated as anyone with this. Now, the good news with that is I have taken this and I have prioritized the coding of a new e-commerce site. This is tying in with our new leaderboard and stat system and our overhaul of our player reporting system. And I've been busting my ass on this. And I'm hoping that by next month we can launch this new e-commerce system that doesn't work with this third party at all. And ideally, you'll be able to just get VIP in like under 10 clicks on visiting the site. You won't have to enter your Steam ID. You won't have to do anything. You log in through Steam. You click OK. You can assign the VIP to a friend. It's going to be so much better, but it's not quite ready to go yet. And in the meantime, of course, right before we went live, we're seeing the site is having issues again. So if you are trying to get VIP today and you're having issues, know that we are aware of it. Know that I sincerely apologize for the issues, and we are working as quickly as possible on getting a new system in place so that, like, we needed an overhaul anyway. It was way out of date, but this catalyzed us to move quicker on it because these guys are just shit in the bed all over the place, and it's having a negative impact all the way around. And so, yeah, and I just got to keep breathing and letting go of my frustration with that, and knowing that a much, much, much better solution is on the horizon, and I'm shooting to get it launched for the September update. We're getting into staging final testing internally next week, and hopefully that can move along so we have a level of confidence that by September we no longer have to deal with this old bullshit, broken ass, busted ass piece of shit fucking site. But I am again breathing, and I'm staying calm, and I'm letting go of my frustration with it. But I'll have more more news on that next month. But I'd be remiss if I didn't mention it, because it is a problem, and we are aware of it, and I mirror your frustration, and I apologize for any inconvenience it does cause you. But anyway, that's the stuff with the Rustified stuff, and stats and leaderboards are still coming. I know that's been delayed, but we're working this all into this new system, and when it's out, it is going to be really, really friggin' awesome. But it ain't ready yet, so we still got to limp along with what we got going on with our current system, and we'll keep doing that, and I'll keep breathing and letting go of that frustration. But yeah, that's what we got going on. The update is expected to come out at the regular scheduled time. And generally, what we see with that is that around half hour past, we see the server update go live. And I imagine that will be in just a couple minutes. And then about 10-15 minutes after that, we see the client update hit. And then shortly after that, we see the dev blog hit. But really, once that client update hits, we say the update is live. And oh, and look at that, right as I'm talking about it, server update just went live. Let me update the little doohickey on the top left here so everyone knows. Server update is live. Hell yeah, face punch. On time, if not early, as always. And once again, just shout out to Face Punch for being on the ball with not only doing awesome improvements to the game and additions to the game every month, but then having us show up and have a high level of confidence that this update goes out on time, if not early, every month, month after month. Thank you. Thank you, Facepunch. And so, yeah, we should see the client update hit in about 10-15 minutes. Server update is live. We're going to start taking our servers down and updating them and all that good stuff. And once again, if you have any questions in chat, please do at Misty underscore that's me, because especially on these streams where we have a couple thousand people in there, it can be easy to lose the questions. So please do tag Miss D so we can answer your questions. And with that, let's take a moment to answer some questions from the audience. What do we got?
Okay, yeah. There is one thing I see a lot of people thinking still that we are developers of the game, and that is not the case. That is Facepunch, not us.
Yeah, so we are, an honest mistake, it's happened for years and years, but we are just an independent organization who loves reporting on development news and running the best servers that we can. And yes, we're on the official list, along with other communities and independent organizations. But yeah, we are not the developers of the game. And so, you know, keep that in mind as you're typing certain things in chat, because we have limited abilities in what we can do. We basically report on this stuff and run the best servers that we do. And with that, as always, I do want to thank everyone for supporting us. The people who tune in and watch, people who buy bits or subscribe on Twitch, and to our wonderful, beautiful, loyal VIP customers. Thank you so much for the support. Because seriously, without the support, like, we're not on the Facepunch payroll. We wouldn't be able to run these servers that we do and report on the news like we do if we didn't have the support from the community. So, really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much, everyone who supports us in any way that you do.
How come you chose the AU server and not a US server for the hardcore on Rustified?
It wasn't our call. Facepunch makes the call on who got what region, and so we got AU, and that's how it worked out.
If you get a gun out of a crate on hardcore, can you research and craft it, or can you only find them in crates?
So,
You can,
oh, go on.
yeah, go for it, Artemis. Yeah, I'll
I
let
was
you
gonna
start
say,
answering some questions. I want to look at the back end here, but yeah, go for it,
you're all
Artemis.
good. Yeah. So no, you can't research and craft them. Only repair them in a repair bench. You must find them as well on hardcore.
Where can I see the maps that will look for next wipe? Sorry.
As far as I know, the wipes for Rustified, the maps, sorry, for Rustified, posted in the Discord. So you should be able to get them there.
Yeah, it's on the server information channel, and the map previews are posted there 4 hours before the wipe for each region. The other cool thing is once the update comes out, and I think I mentioned this, but with this new escape menu UI, you can actually preview the map in the server details as well, which is a really cool feature.
Is this a new mode or is it for everyone?
This is an update to the hardcore mode. So the mode already exists, but there's just been some tweaks and changes to it.
People were asking if you can show the new gun at nighttime.
For sure, yeah. Let's have a look.
Is Naval update coming out today or is it still for October?
That's still planned in for October at the moment.
And what is that orange box?
Ah, yeah. This is the new Pilot Hazmat DLC, and it is the small box skin that you get with it, which is called the Black Box, but as you can see, it's very brightly coloured orange.
How about rendering? Things seem to take longer to render the last couple of wipes.
Yeah, I haven't noticed any immediate changes, to be honest. There's definitely changes to the load time, but haven't seen any specific commits or noticed anything too much in way of the change for renders.
What is this? Is Fog of War in vanilla or just hardcore mode?
I believe it's just in hardcore mode.
Yeah, it's just a
yeah,
hardcore mode thing.
That's it, yep.
Do you think you can make a solo hardcore server at some point?
Wouldn't that be good?
Yeah, I could see that being really really awesome, and I'll take that into consideration as we see how, the hardcore server. We once again are opening one hardcore server on the official list with this update. It's AU hardcore. There are some other official communities opening hardcore servers in other regions, so definitely check those out depending on what region you're in. And yeah, and depending on, how it resonates with people and everything like that, I don't have any immediate plans to open any other new servers at the moment, but I think a solo hardcore server would be pretty badass, to be honest with you. I think that's a great idea.
Can you check out the item store while you're loading into the server?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. It's not going to be something I can easily test as well at the moment. I don't believe so, but don't quote me on
Yeah, I
it
don't
100%.
think so.
I don't think so, no, but I don't want to say 100% just because I haven't tested. 99.9.
Someone said, can you guys disable DLLS? Everything is blurry.
Oh, not currently. We don't currently have that on at the minute anyway, so.
Yeah, it's not blurry for me though.
Yeah, I was going to say it could be a streaming issue.
Do you know if the Rust skin update will be pushed where the skins aren't tradable for 7 days?
I don't personally know anything about that for sure.
No, me neither, to be fair.
I know they did do some changes to skin boxes and modded servers' ability to use certain skins that are on the item store. And that's a big change that came in. But yeah, as far as that 7 day period, I'm not aware of any specifics around that at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it was always my understanding was that usually if you initiate a trade and accepts it, you still have to wait the 7 days for it to kind of finalize. That's just to ensure that nothing untoward's happened, like someone's hacked your account and trying to transfer skins. But I haven't seen any other updates to that at the moment.
Yeah.
Did they fix the boat bug where you are not able to start/stop once switching seat/jumping on and off?
Say that again,
Yeah,
sorry.
there were a bunch of fixes this month, but I didn't see a fix for that one in there. Maybe they did and it slipped in there, but I'm not aware specifically of a fix for that.
So can I fix all the guns without blueprints?
Yep, you can. So you can't learn any of the guns, but you can repair them in a repair
Repair.
bench. Yep.
And again, this is all just in hardcore mode. That's not impacting vanilla gameplay, but in the hardcore mode refresh, yeah, you can repair the gun with no blueprint, and you can't craft any guns. You can't buy them at vendors, but if you find one, you can repair one.
How do we know when the game update is live?
Well, we will let you know, and I will tweet about it. At the moment, the server update is live, and we're actively updating all of our servers. And in fact, I just got word all of our servers are updated and wiped and up and running at the moment. I just heard from my amazing systems team here. And what we're waiting on here is the client update to hit. And that client update, given the server update hit just 10 minutes ago, I believe that client update should hit in the next 5 or 10 minutes. And then we'll say the update is officially live. And you can then expect the dev blog shortly after that. But I'll tweet about it and we'll let you know here as soon as that client update hits so you can either restart Steam or if you're not seeing it on your Steam library, but you'll definitely want to run this client update prior to trying to join after this update hits.
Is it really true that I can join Force Wipe 20 minutes before it's available to all people? Haha. No.
You know, some people do some shit with the staging branch and trying to join early. I don't really have much to say about that. I can't stand behind the stability of that method or, recommend it, but it is something that some people do.
Why is there no armored heads triangle square game as armored door?
It's so true, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised there isn't yet, but I imagine one day we'll see it.
I actually saw a lot of people asking what size the new update is. Not sure.
Yeah, it's actually given in on staging here, I can't really see the exact gigabyte or size, megabyte, gigabyte size, but I wouldn't expect it to be a tiny one. I'd imagine it's around a gig or more.
Do you want to do a quick recap?
Yeah, let's recap this puppy. Also, if you're just tuning in, basically what we got going on is the server update is live and we're just waiting on that client update to hit, and that client update will probably hit in the next 5-10 minutes based on what we've seen previous months. And while we're waiting on that, also just a huge thank you to people who subscribe and people who support us and to our VIP customers. Again, we're an independent organization. We're not part of the development team. We're not on the Facebook payroll. And so that support really means the world to us. And it's how we're able to keep doing this. So thank you so much for the support. And yeah, so we're waiting for this client update to hit. Let's do a little recapity cap here. So one of the main things this month is a refresh to the hardcore gameplay mode. And with that, we are launching a new server, AU Hardcore. So that's Rustified AU Hardcore. You'll be able to find it on the official list if you want to try out this refreshed hardcore mode. It's not a brand new gameplay mode, but they have made some significant changes to just make it much more hardcore, much more high stakes. And so some of those changes are no guns are available at via the crafting on the tech tree or vendors. So you can't buy guns at vendors and you can't craft them. You just have to find them. They can't be researched or crafted, but you can repair them without a blueprint. So if you find a gun and it's low condition or broken, you can repair it without the blueprint. There is fog of war on the map, and so that's going to block on the in-game map anything that you haven't physically been to yet. And there's also this cool new compass that you can pull out. And so instead of having like the compass on your HUD UI, you actually have to look at the compass to see where you're pointing and what direction you want to go to map out your next plan. And then that's not all. Along with that, the sleeping bags have a 15-minute cooldown, and beds have a 10-minute cooldown now, which of course is greater than what we see in vanilla. And there's a max of 5 total of either. So you can only have 5 beds slash bags on a given server. Ammo is now 5x more to craft, so 5 times the expense to craft the ammo. Upkeep costs are double, so it's going to take twice as much to keep your base from decaying. And safe zones are completely gone, so no safe zones. And again, this is only for servers with specifically the hardcore tag on them. This is not any changes that are impacting vanilla gameplay. Now, moving on with the recapity cap, the new menu system is in place. So as soon as you join the game, you'll see there's a whole new UI and UX for the in-game and escape menu. There's some nice, easy to navigate tabs on the top. There's an easy, rejoin button to rejoin the last server you were on in case like maybe you crash or you quit for the day and you come back later. There's the ability to preview maps on the server information when you're browsing servers. The store has been completely overhauled and looks much improved. And when it comes to skins and viewing skins, you can bring up a very high definition 3D view that you can drag around the different skins and everything like that and see every single little detail of the skins. And also, the options menu has been completely overhauled and improved. So you can search for different options, and they really cleaned up the UX and made it just make a lot more sense and much more usable. There's an always visible social panel on the bottom right, so you can do all your social stuff from one place, always there, regardless of what tab you're on. And just overall, a bunch of other improvements. The gesture wheel has been overhauled, so you can drag the gestures in and much more easily change the gestures that you have in your wheel and preview that. Now, on top of the escape menu stuff, there's some huge, huge improvements to loading into the game and into servers that we're seeing go live. It looks like players are seeing up to a 65% faster loading time than previously, so that is awesome. The other great thing you're going to see both in hardcore and in vanilla is this whole atmospheric revamp. And that includes a whole bunch of things that just improve and really just make the whole atmosphere of the game so much more beautiful. There's biome specific fog and color grading. So depending on where you are in the map, you're going to see different color grades and different fog effects. There's volumetric clouds. You can turn them off if you want. There's improvements to the weather effects and the ambiance and everything, so the transitions between different weather types are smoother. And overall, the general ambiance is just looking great. And the cherry on top of all of this is it's all a very performance-friendly design where uh, they really took into account player FPS and everything like that, and not only improved the looks, but made sure to capitalize and prioritize the optimization of it so that it's not having a detrimental effect on your client performance. Now, on top of that, there is a new DLC going live. It's the Pilot DLC. This is just the latest of the classic line of hazmat DLCs of which we've seen in the past. It improves this. It includes this sweet Pilot hazmat suit. It's got a cool M15 pistol, which is a skin of the semi-automatic pistol, and that pistol does have a nice glow-in-the-dark iron sight for a little tactical improvement there. They've got a flight control code lock, such as the skin of the code lock that looks pretty cool. There is the skin of the small wooden box, which is called the black box, and it's a flight log controller from a plane, and it ain't quite black. It's actually quite orange, but it is called the black box. And then finally, there's this salvaged ejector seat, which is kind of this Game of Thrones esque, with a missile fighter jet vibe going on. Overall, these new skins for this DLC look gorgeous. You can tell they took a lot of time and a lot of effort into them. And they are available on the item store now. $12.99 USD is the price point in the US. I'm not sure about internationally, but it looks like it's fallen in line with the price points of other hazmat and similar DLCs that we've seen in the past. And again, that is live on the item store now and available for purchase. There's also tweaks to metal detectors. So this is cool where if there is a weapon inside a backpack and that backpack despawns, the weapon actually buries underneath that in the ground. And then with your metal detector, you can find those weapons. And if you find one, you can dig it up and get it at its original condition at which it was dropped at. So there's no durability loss or anything like that. They've also fixed a bunch of miscellaneous issues and bugs with metal detectors. So overall, it's going to be a less buggy experience and better quality of life. And speaking of fixes, they did a crap load of fixes this month. I mean, as I said before, there's never a month where we don't see any fixes, but some months really stand out where they really went ham on the fixes. And I'd say this month is definitely one of them. We've got a ton of fixes. You can see them all on rustified.com on my article there, but a couple of note, the player name tags are no longer visible through ceilings. They fixed where the twig roof jibs fly excessively far when destroyed. They improved the rain so it's no longer partially clipping through ceilings. They fixed that ancient rare bug that makes doors unable to be picked up until a lock is placed and removed from them. There's a bunch of other miscellaneous fixes like the crafting menu search results are no longer lost after closing and reopening the menu, and just a whole bunch of other miscellaneous fixes and improvements for your quality of life and things like that. And on top of that, there's a new round of Twitch drops going live today. The Homebrewed 3 Twitch drop campaign.
They just started, actually. It just popped
And
out.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
And so yeah, head over to twitch.facepunch.com. Make sure your accounts are linked, and then tune into your favorite streamers and get some awesome drops over the next period of time. A couple other things: the weapon stats update when changing attachments now, and there's some improvements for admins where you can see a little thing on the game UI next to your belt if you have God mode on or off. And you can now actually add a timer to the mute command if you want to mute someone for like an hour. They updated the medical syringe animation. Ooh, and the client update is out. Hell yeah, let me tweet about it. And I forgot to tweet when the server update was live. Oh well, I missed that one. I'll just tweet about the client. So awesome. So you should be able to go to your Steam library now and see the update on Rust. If you don't, restart Steam real quick or verify integrity of cache or something, and you should see that update pop. All of the Rustified servers are already updated and wiped and live, and so they're all good to go, including our new AU hardcore server. And we should see the dev blog drop momentarily here, but I'm happy to announce the update is officially live. Let me update the thing on the top left as well. Patch is live. And hell yeah, once again, a shout out to Facepunch for not only their incredibly hard work month after month, year after year on releasing improvements and fixes and new content to the game, but then on top of that, getting these patches out on time, smoothly, month after month. Thank you to everyone at Facepunch for everything that you do and for continuing to make this game just a unicorn and just an awesome, wonderful game. So thank you, Facepunch. A huge thank you, everyone, for tuning in, as always. And again, just a thank you to everyone who supports us. We are an independent organization, so to people who just watch or give bits, subscribe on Twitch, and our wonderful, beautiful, loyal VIP customers, thank you so much for the support. We wouldn't be able to do this without you. And yeah, the update is live. Go download that stuff. And I hope you all have an awesome wipe day today. And again, also just a thank you to my co-MCs here, Misty and Artemis, for joining me as always.
You're welcome, and I just want to say we have a raid also.
Yes, we do. We do have a raid, so I'm going to get that ready. Thank you for that
And
reminder.
Artemis.
Yeah, well done, Misty. Yeah, as always, you're welcome.
And yeah, guys, and a huge shout out to the whole team at Rustified. Thank you guys. I could not do this alone, so thank you everyone on our team for everything that you do, keeping these servers running and keeping this community going. And much love to you all. And with that, we're going to wind this puppy down. I'm going to go triple check on all our servers, make sure everything's running smooth. Go download the update and have a wonderful wipe day. And with that, we will be back next month, next first Thursday, to give you the lowdown on what's coming for the September update. But in the meantime, I hope you all have a wonderful week and a wonderful wipe. And this is Bugs signing off. But hang on, because we do have a raid going out now. And much love to you all. We'll catch you all later. This is Bugs signing off.